Hey everybody, it's Romania Black. We are on episode 4 of Modao Zushi, and I'm really enjoying this flashback so far. I've heard it's going to be a pretty long flashback, but that's okay because we're getting a lot of setup with WuXian's character. We're getting Wangji's character set up, the Chang brother. We've gotten little snippets about Ling's parents, Chang's sister, and then the head of the Wen Clan. We've also met Kirin, who is Wangji's uncle and also the leader of the Wen Clan. And then we also have Ni. I think his name is actually, his first name is Huasing, but I'm going to call him Ni right now because he's the only Ni that we have in the story right now. And just the little seedlings of setup with WuXian's character. The idea that WuXian's interested in exploring other options. Like, if we could channel this resentful energy and use it, then we wouldn't be forbidden from going certain places. We could use the energy around us, whether it was good energy or resentful. And so he's trying to think of multiple options, but obviously that is a kind of frowned upon procedure if Kirin's reaction was anything. So I really like this development of Wangji's and WuXian's relationship from the past. The idea that they're very two butting head characters. It contrasts interestingly now with Wangji's character being okay with bringing, WuXian under the Shan Yu disguise back to the Wen Clan. So I'm finding it interesting. I feel like there's so much we don't know yet, but they're setting it up that we're going to find out over the course of this season, and I'm really excited about that. I've had people send me links to the novel, and I've had people request that I read the novel and review it. That's my plan. Whenever we're done with seasons 1 and season 2, I'm assuming there's going to be a bit of a gap there between season 2 and season 3 that's supposed to come out later in 2021. But while we wait on that, I do plan on, after I watch season 2, reading the novel, the translation that I received, and then going back and reacting and saying, oh, okay, here's stuff that was left out. Here's maybe things that they're going to explore in season 3 that would be really cool. So I'm really excited for that. But yeah, I've been really interested in this show so far. I'm all ready for that Cornetto commercial already. But it's just been a really cool experience to see a show in another culture presented through animation. That's really interesting to me. And the characters are so intriguing, and this world building is very, it just feels like it's been in a lived-in world, and that we're just kind of thrown into it. And I kind of like that. They're just stringing you along, and you find out as you go. And the other thing is the Wen Clan, which makes me think of the General Wen Ning, the general that was the corpse that helped out back in episode 2. That clan, they were supposed to get rid of Ghost, and they didn't do it. They let the water ghost go instead of getting rid of it. And they're like, oh, it'll be somebody else's problem. It's fine. We've done all we can. And it's like, y'all didn't exactly do options 1 and 2 and 3 that Wangji was talking about in the last episode. They kind of just let it go. And so that shadiness makes me wonder if maybe that's going to be something brought up in this season that WuXian's going to have to deal with, exploring how some of the clans maybe have lost their way and they're not following the rules like the Wen Clan is. So I'm excited, y'all. I'm ready to dive into episode 4. I hope you all are too. I've got my character sheet up here, but the only new characters I've really got on here for episode 4 are Kirin, and there's some more Wen Clan members that if we need to go back to it, we shall. So with that being said, we are going to start episode 4 of Modao Zushi here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's go. So, interesting. Okay, that was a good episode. Jishin Lan Huan, the older brother, he's such a very interesting character. I get the feeling that he is what Wangji wants to be, because the elder brother, Kirin's other nephew, the other brother of Zahn, he is very stoic and very dry, and I totally buy that he is actually probably emotionless because he's just not fazed by anything. Even at the end when he's like, "You should buy the fruit because that's what you want, correct?" And Wangji seems like he wants to be like him, but he's definitely more emotional and easily riled up. He's not as mature and stoic as Juan is. So I find that very, very, very interesting. There's a lot of setup in this episode. We're still setting up the idea of Jin Zuan, Ling's father, being just a total prick. Like, just being the worst. Not the worst, but just being really stuck up and not having anything to do with WuXian. And it's really sad. It's sad because Chang and WuXian, they genuinely get along in this flashback so far. Like, they banter back and forth like siblings, and they argue, and Chang is constantly like, quit being stupid to WuXian, but they genuinely seem to care about one another, and Chang, like, saving WuXian and helping him. It's so sad, because then when you look back a couple episodes to the present and see that Chang hates WuXian and seems to want nothing to do with him, then it's like, oh my god, what happened? And so I'm assuming that's what we're going to find out this season, what happened. But it's really kind of sad already, because I'm like, man, you guys had a really cool thing going, and now it looks like something horrible has severed that. There's a lot of mention about, I like that we get this establishment about the cultivation and the demonic arts in this episode, and that Chang is like, look, quit thinking about the demonic arts. It's taboo. It's forbidden. We don't need to do this. And WuXian's like, but look, hear me out. One, we could be harnessing all this energy and stopping the problem at the root of it, instead of just fighting off and putting a band-aid on things. We could just cut things down at the root if we could harness this resentful energy that's being used against us. And then two, he's like, the cultivation arts were once new things too. Someone thought them up. Someone cultivated them. And now they're heavily used. He's like, so it started from somewhere. So he's like, these were wild ideas once too, and now everybody's using them. So why not we do the same with the resentful energy? And then Chang's like, just talking with you is pointless. So I find that interesting. I also love his constant poking at Wangji, WuXian's, just being like, him like, with the girls, and then also with the boat, him actually saving Wangji. And I love about the sword, about Sweebian, where he's like, just, my dad said to name the sword, and so I was like, well, what should I name it? And he's like, whatever. And so he named it Whatever. Like, the fact that his weapon is called Whatever, and their swords are supposed to be given these respectful, dignified names. And he's like, I just call my sword Whatever. It's like, of course you do. And I love that. And I love how frustrated Wangji is. He's like, you just can't do anything by the rules, can you? And WuXian's like, no. And of course, but despite everything Wangji has said, of course, it's Wangji that saves WuXian. It's him that saves him from the water ghouls. And I'm like, that, of course it is. So I really like that. It sounds like that Ling's dad does not like the Jing clan at all. The Jiang clan at all, which is interesting because he's marrying into it. So I'm like, is it an arranged marriage, I guess? And he's just not happy about it? I don't know. I don't get good vibes from Ling's dad, which is a shame because I really like Ling's character. So I'm curious where all that's going to come into play, especially with the sister too, because we've not seen her yet. We've only heard about her. And then finally we get this idea about the Wen Clan and the notion that the Wens are kind of this empirical, this overarching clan that's kind of like just everywhere, and it's got a lot of different sects involved, and they don't want anybody. It's basically like, if you go against the Wen Clan, it's almost like you're declaring war against this giant. It's pretty futile, is I guess what they're getting at. And they're like, you don't need to be doing that and starting a ruckus with something. You don't need to start a fight you can't win. And of course, WuXian, being WuXian, is like, start a fight we can't win. That's my middle name. So I am really interested. I'm assuming that we're going to see this Ning guy in the future, because WuXian seems to really know him, and he seems to have some backstory, so I'm curious if we'll get to see more of him. But just a lot of setup this episode. A lot of character setup, a lot of motivation setup. When he was underwater, WuXian was underwater with the ghouls, I was like, okay, is he about to develop some kind of like, is he about to tap into some power? Because we talk about our core in this, and that being able, the core lets you connect to the energy that helps you cultivate and get rid of ghosts and spirits. So is WuXian going to tap into like some of that resentful energy and use that kind of like as a core? it seemed like he was close to doing something with that, and then Wangji saved him, which, how very symbolic and representative of the situation. But man, this was a really short episode too. A lot shorter than the others. We didn't even get a Cornetto commercial. And I was ready for that ice cream. But just very interesting. I'm assuming that we're getting more of the Wen Clan next week. I did find it interesting that the elder Lan brother was kind of on board with WuXian. He's like, I don't think it's right that we have to bow down to this Wen Clan and just do whatever they say just because they're bigger and have more people. But then it's like, what do you do? If you challenge them, what good's it going to do? You're kind of in a lose-lose situation. Interesting, though. The animation in this episode, gorgeous. Like, the whole underwater effects, and then the spout and action, them flying, them surfing on their swords. That just, of course, why not? But I think the highlight of the episode, other than Wangji saving him and finding out that WuXian's sword is named whatever, is the idea that he's tapping into something, which I find very interesting. So, but yeah, really cool stuff, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this reaction. Please feel free to comment down below. Please, no spoilers. But yeah, I hope y'all have a great week. And next week, we will tackle episode 5 of Modao Until then, I'll see y'all. Stay safe and see you soon.